This is my okay, I'm just gonna have to go like this. This is my intro to business final project. So, what is Nike? Most people are already familiar with the brand Nike and have seen it before, or I'm sure most people probably own at least one thing of Nike. But what most people don't know is what actually goes into the production of Nike and how they make their brand so successful. Um, Nike is a top company that sells athletic footwear, apparel, equipment, and accessories, but their main product is running shoes. Nike's core market is based out of the United States, but also can be found almost anywhere in the world. The company guaranteed over 40% of their revenue in just the United States in 2019. Obviously, this was pre pandemic, so it's probably definitely changed since then. But in 2019, that is where most of their revenue was coming from, was the United States. Um, so what makes Nike so successful? I believe that Nike is most successful due to their marketing strategies and how they get their brand out there to other people around the entire world. Nike's marketing strategy is centered around their brand image, which you see right here. It is their simple checkmark with their simple slogan, just do it. And you can see it right here. You've probably seen it before and you've probably seen it a lot of places. Nike success. Nike also taken athlete endorsement to a new height, which is something no brand has ever done before. They have signed lifetime agreements with athletes like Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Cristiano Ronaldo, and many, many, many more. These commanded contracts are valued to over $1 billion each and demonstrates the value and success that these endorsements have on Nike. This is an opportunity to make Nike known and expand their company even more. This makes the brand more desirable and valuable to customers. So you can see here, that is Michael Jordan with his product, and everyone knows Nike Jordans. Everyone's seen them. You probably have a pair. Um, so I think this makes Nike so successful because when you see your favorite athletes with your favorite pair of shoes, like you're just gonna want to buy them. Like I know that's how my dad was as a teenager. He grew up wearing Jordans because Michael Jordan was his favorite athlete, and then Nike were his favorite shoes. So like obviously he wanted Nike Jordans. Um, how are current events positively related to Nike? Um, in 2015, Nike suddenly lost their popularity due to major fire for abusive labor practices after outsourcing labor overseas because it was cheaper. So, like many brands, Nike makes their products overseas because it's cheaper, tariffs are cheaper, all of that. The public was shocked that Nike treated their employees like this, and many people went on a strike against Nike by not buying their products for many months. This was by far one of the biggest challenges Nike has faced as a company, but as of 2020, many websites report that Nike successfully transformed its image. Now, instead of paying their workers minimum wage, they pay them a living rate wage. And when I tried to find exact numbers on this living wage, I couldn't find any. But obviously, it probably varies state from state depending on what their minimum wage is set at. So I don't know. I would assume like in Arkansas, they probably make $18 because minimum wage is 12. So I feel like that would be a living wage. But just last year in 2021, they let all their employees off for a week for a mental health break to avoid the burnout after the post pandemic craziness. Today, the brand has made huge improvements on how they treat their employees and now known to be the best company on how they treat their employees. Definitely think Nike learned their lesson from this and fixed their reputation post incident. So, although this was a negative thing related to Nike, I think they definitely flipped it and turned it positive, and now people know how they treat their employees. And yeah, um, how current events have negatively affected Nike. Everyone knows that the COVID 19 hit everyone hard, including big brands like Nike. After coming out of the pandemic, Nike has been clear on serious concerns of supply chain. Due to losing almost 3 months of production, they still have not been able to catch up and keep up with the supply of their products. So, like I said, Nike makes their products overseas, and specifically Vietnam is what I found. And Vietnam was apparently hit the most hard from COVID. And so when the United States was starting to get back on track, Vietnam was still kind of behind and still kind of facing the pandemic more. And so that pushed Nike's supply even back. So people were ready to buy the products again here, but Vietnam wasn't able to produce these products. So they lost more time than most companies, I believe. So yeah, transportation delays, port congestions, and container shortages have all affected the availability of products in the second quarter of the 2022 fiscal year. In a recent interview, Matthew Friend, CFO of Nike, said, "Across the total marketplace, we continue to see strong sales growth and consumer demand for our products exceeding marketplace supply, with marketplace inventory down double digits prior to the year. I believe that over the next 2 years, Nike will be able to catch up and continue to get back on track, even out their supply and demand slowly but surely." Obviously, this is not just something that can be fixed overnight or that can just make more products of and it all just be even out. This is definitely something that will have to even out over time, but I think Nike has faced many things like this before and they will continue to fix this product or this issue. Self reflection. A business major that does not interest me is definitely information systems. So, something I kind of learned about business majors that I didn't really think of before was that it kind of is just sitting at a desk job for the most part all day, reading graphs, moving around numbers, all of that. More specifically, information systems, like they do all of the computing stuff behind what generates these numbers and stuff for these businesses. So, yeah, that's just not something I want to do is sit behind a computer all day. I would much rather major in something more hands-on and something that I can get to interact with other people all day and not be staring at numbers and computer all day. Um, so with that being said, my new major here at UCA is public administration. Because coming into freshman year at UCA, I always thought I wanted to be some kind of business major, specifically marketing just kind of caught my eye more. Um, I just wanted to make different graphics and stuff and like commercials for businesses. But unfortunately, after taking accounting, business computing, and microeconomics, I realized that being a business major was not the right choice for me. It's not what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. Um, like I said, I didn't enjoy moving numbers around all day and reading graphs. So, after much research and talks with other people from back home, older people back home, I decided to change my major to public administration with a minor in criminal justice. So, I'm very excited to come back in the fall and start this new major and learn a different completely side of something. Why am I interested in public administration? So I've always been interested in criminal justice because my mom has always worked in criminal justice, but she's also told me my entire life not to go to college and major in criminal justice because unfortunately you are more than likely just going to find a job that you could have just got outside of high school, so it's not worth a college degree and you're probably not going to make a lot of money too. um and then like I said before, business administration has always like been in the back of my mind, but I didn't like business. So I like to be in charge. And so that's why I kind of liked administration, business administration specifically. So I think that public administration puts the two together and makes the perfect match for me personally. My future career path. After completing my degree in public administration with criminal justice, I plan to get an entry level job in the field. Some of these jobs include public communications administrative assistant, administrative assistant building. So that's like where like you pick where people can build stuff and not, which I think is so interesting. Um, Public affairs representative, program director, government relations associate, which government associate is the one that really sticks out to me. Um, so I hope to land a job somewhere in the government and then just work my way up to being on the school board or something like that. So yeah, in 30 years, I hope to see myself working for the government and being at the top of some kind of administration for them. If I were to work for Nike, after going back and going over all my journals that I have wrote throughout this semester, and if I had to pick one job within my firm, I would definitely pick human resources. I think human resources is a very interesting career after researching what goes on, how Nike specifically makes their human resources the best. Um, I love the way they treat their employees. Nike is also ranked one of the top 3 companies for human resources and how they treat their employees. Although I think any job at Nike would be great, I believe that human resources would be the most enjoyable and beneficial for me. If I were to work at Nike, I think I would be very enjoyable to me if I was going into business. Unfortunately, Nike doesn't really have jobs for public administration or criminal justice, so working for Nike is not going to work out for me after college. But if I were to, I think I would fit into their culture and beliefs at Nike and would be very happy to work for them. I know I would have great people to support me and push me every day to do my best work, which is important to me at any job that I decide to go into. So, yeah, that is my project for Nike. I have enjoyed getting to know Nike. My family's very big on Nike, and so actually getting to know what goes behind Nike was very interesting. And yeah, I have enjoyed this class semester. Thank you.